Welcome to Thailand. The first ever Thai Grand Prix has just finished here and we're at turn 12 where it all kicked off in the final corner. The fans here have been fantastic and we witnessed a brilliant race in MotoGP. Marc Marquez just winning it from Andrea Dovizioso, and guess what? The Yamaha's had a good day as well. I'm Steve Day, I've got Matt Burt and Simon Crafar with me as we try and dissect all the action of what happened today. Matt, you couldn't really ask for a better showdown for the first ever Grand Prix of Thailand, and it all happened here. And it was a role reversal between Marc Marquez and Andrea Dovizioso.
Yeah, a truly unbelievable race, Steve. Great to see another fantastic showdown with Marc Marquez and Andrea Dovizioso. Sweet revenge for Marc Marquez right here at the final corner. He basically did to Andrea Dovizioso what Andrea Dovizioso traditionally does to Marc Marquez. Marquez was so determined, wasn't he, to get the better of those Ducatis in a last lap showdown. It was an unbelievable race. It kept us on the edge of our seats from the first corner to the last corner. Pure theatre all the way through. And, you know, Marc Marquez now one hand on that World Championship trophy. It's his to lose. He's got it in the bag.
Fascinating race that developed all the way. We knew it was going to be a slow burner at the start, Simon. We kind of predicted that. But Marquez was just tucked in behind Dovizioso, trying to weigh up where he was going to pull it off.
Yeah, well, you saw early on how Valley was making ground on Marc, you know, coming out of the second to last turn. And I pointed out to you guys in the race how I was convinced that's where he was trying to conserve tyres. And when they didn't really get going till quite late in the race, did they? 100%, I mean, you know. Sure, the pace was fast, but it wasn't, I felt, until I saw 3 laps to go where they were going 100%, you know. And then Dovi had such good drive. He made so much ground down that back straight, but Marc just made it all back at the end, didn't he? You know, and got back on, got close enough to make the pass on turn 5 and be back in the game. You know, I said to you guys last night, I really thought it was going to come down to a fight, like we all did between those two, but my money was on Dovi. I really thought, but Marc said that they worked last night to get that something extra, which proved me wrong today.
Andrea Dovizioso certainly gave it a good old go, as he did back in Aragon. He actually said in the press conference a little while ago that because he sat in front for a large portion of the race, he didn't really get a good chance to see what Marquez had. So by the time Marquez had passed him, their tyres were running out, and so Marquez really knew exactly where Dovi was quick and slow, whereas Dovizioso wasn't quite so sure.
Yeah, tactically and strategically, Steve, Marquez did a bit of a number on Andrea Dovizioso today. I think Andrea Dovizioso, crucially, he just wasn't quite close enough to make that move clean or make it stick at that final corner. Had he been a little bit closer, he could have known exactly where Marc Marquez was going to be, make that block pass, stop Marquez from coming on the cutback. Because Marquez, he judged it absolutely perfectly. He did do Dovizioso, like we said, what had been done to him in the Red Bull Ring last year and in the Twin Ring Motegi. It was the perfect race by Marc Marquez. He didn't want it to come down to the last corner at all. He tried to make that break with about 3 laps to go, but he couldn't break the shackles of Andrea Dovizioso, who's been so determined. Andrea Dovizioso, actually, he took defeat pretty well. You know, nobody wants to lose a Grand Prix like that at the final corner. But he did say, we didn't expect to come here and be so strong. Hot conditions, low grip, the Ducati has struggled. They weren't very flash at the test here as well. Andrea Dovizioso only 7th quickest. So it was a great way for Andrea Dovizioso to show the competitiveness of the Ducati in all conditions and all kinds of different tracks.
I want to talk now about, obviously, the Yamahas. I mean, this is a head-scratcher. Us three were discussing this at dinner just last night as to what happened, what the turnaround is. Either way, they have delivered today. Okay, ultimately, they're not on the top 2 steps of the podium, but Maverick Vinales 3rd and Valentino in 4th. We'll start with Valentino, Simon, because he led, of course, for the opening 6 or 7 laps. This was a much improved Yamaha, but no one really can work out how or why.
Well, Valley was there right from the start, wasn't he? But you could see he wasn't conserving his rear tyre like the other 2 were. And for example, he was making on Marc when Marc, you know, coming up to the last turn, that acceleration where Marc was trying to save his tyre. And the thing for me was, I think Valley has to do it like that because the others still, in my opinion, have the pace. And if Valley tries to conserve his tyre, he won't stay with him. So he stays there, but towards the end of the race, he drops off, you know, with that tyre burnt. About the whole Yamaha package in general, I have had my spade out this weekend digging, trying to find out why they're going so much better. And the Yamaha guys that I know, and nobody will talk, and it's like they have got something, but as you found out, it's so small, they don't know if it's going to work. Then I went, just before the show, I went and asked Hervé straight, Poncharal, both of your bikes, Hervé, did really well as well, with Hafiz, beating the other, rookies, and then also with Zarco finishing behind Rossi, So I said, Hervé, have you all got a little update? And he's saying, no, Simon, it's a combination, tyres, we've got a good setup, it works here, but we're still lost for the races to come.
Top brass were all here for Yamaha, so at least it wasn't a show that they put on in Aragon. What are your feelings on Rossi and Viñales' combination, and do you think this is something they can take to Motegi? Because they're being very cautious about playing this one up.
They asked him when I was fortunate to talk to Maverick Viñales after the race, and he said actually they've no idea why they've stumbled across a setup or a package that works here at this Buriram circuit. When they got on the plane coming to Buriram this week, on paper, hot conditions, these hard acceleration points, you thought that Yamaha were going to be in for another really, really tough weekend. They've clearly made a couple of little tweaks, but Maverick Viñales was as perplexed as any of us to sort of say, I asked him, I said, Maverick, straight up, why do you think you've turned the corner like this? How come you found a second in the space of 2 weeks? And he said, honestly, I don't actually really know. I can't really put my finger on it. Great to see the two Yamahas up there. It's great for the spectacle, but I think it's just a band-aid. It's just papering over the cracks right now. In Motegi, Yamaha may get exposed again, Steve. They haven't got great braking stability, and we know that between Motegi, it is all about stop and go. The punch out the corners, which is where the Yamaha really suffers against Honda and Ducati.
Well, Johann Zarco took fifth. Dani Pedrosa looked like he might be part of it, but unfortunately he went down. Before we close the show here in Thailand and go and enjoy some beverages here, because it is mighty hot at turn 12, quick word on Thailand. First ever Grand Prix here. The people have been fantastic. The country's fantastic. The atmosphere here at this circuit has been absolutely incredible. So, Matt, your thoughts first, then I'll go to Si.
Yeah, well, amazing. I mean, I already had a bit of a sample when I came here to Buriram 8 months ago for the test. There was 30,000 people here that day. They told us it was going to be a massive event. I wasn't quite prepared for just how big it was going to be. Incredible. The Thailand fans have really taken MotoGP, the whole MotoGP family to their hearts. The riders here are treated basically like Hollywood movie stars, like rock stars. Hopefully this is just the first instalment of many times that we come to Thailand, because the circuit itself provided 3 fantastic races. The fans were treated to an unbelievable spectacle. We've been welcomed here to Thailand fantastically. Cannot wait to come back next year.
Simon, we know you enjoyed the food, so we don't even have to go there, but come on.
For me, before I came to World Championship, I raced in Malaysia and Asia in general. I spent a lot of time here, and I knew the people, how friendly the people are, how they do things properly when it comes to, but I did not expect how good the facility would be, and I don't mean to be prejudiced in any way. I came here going, well, we're going to go down a little bit from Europe. No way. The surface, the whole thing, the right down to grandstands, the toilets, facilities, all the things that make it better for us and the people working here. The whole thing was polished, really good.
Well, it's been a fantastic day of racing, I'm sure you'll agree. Marc Marquez has 1 hand and 4 fingers on the trophy as we now head over to Motegi, which is, of course, Honda's home circuit. Thanks for joining us here this weekend in Thailand. From myself, from Matt Burt and from Simon Crafar, bye from Thai. We'll see you in Japan.
And now we go into turn 5, brilliantly done by Marc Marquez.
There comes Andrea Dovizioso.
He's got him.
Dovizioso's come through.
He's on the inside, but they both go wide. Marquez on the comeback victory for Marquez, and he does to Dovizioso what Dovizioso did to him in Austria last year.